Where do humans go after death? This question has been pondered by philosophers, theologians, and scientists for centuries, and yet there's no single answer that satisfies everyone. Different cultures and belief systems offer a wide range of perspectives on what happens when we die. So in this video, we will discuss some of the most common beliefs and theories. With that said, let's begin our journey into the great unknown. According to the Bible, the fate of a person's soul depends on their belief in Jesus Christ and their actions while alive. Christians believe that upon death, individuals are judged by God. Those who have accepted Jesus as their Savior and lived a life dedicated to God, it is believed, will enter heaven, a place of eternal joy and peace. Conversely, those who have rejected God as offer of salvation and chosen a life of sin may find themselves in hell, a state of eternal torment. Those whose good deeds outweigh their bad deeds are granted entry into paradise, known as Jannah in Arabic. Paradise is described as a place of immense pleasure, beauty, and tranquility. On the other hand, those whose bad deeds outweigh their good deeds are sent to hell, referred to as Jahannam in Islam. Jahannam is depicted as a place of torment and suffering. Conversely, bad karma can result in a rebirth in a lower social class or as a more suffering creature, including in the realm of the hellish beings known as the Narakas. This cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continues until the soul achieves moksha, which is liberation from the cycle of suffering and a return to one's true nature, which is Brahman. 1. Spiritual and religious beliefs. Different faiths have distinct beliefs and teachings about the afterlife. Let's take a closer look at some of the major ones. Some Jewish people believe in an afterlife where the righteous are rewarded and the wicked are punished. They believe that the soul survives the death of the body and is judged by God. Those who have led righteous lives are said to enter a place called Olam Haba, which is sometimes translated as the world to come. A central tenet of this ancient faith is the concept of reincarnation, also known as samsara. Other Jewish people hold the belief that the dead are resurrected bodily at the time of the Messiah's coming. This concept is known as resurrection of the dead or Techiat HaMetim. Those who believe in resurrection await the day when their physical bodies will be restored to life and they will be reunited with their souls. Science and philosophy also offer their own perspectives. Hindus believe that when a person dies, their soul or Atman, which is considered to be a part of the ultimate reality, Brahman, moves into a new body. Some believe in the continuation of the soul or the transmigration of the soul, suggesting that a person's essence persists after death and may be reborn. Some believe that after death, individuals become one with the universe, their consciousness merging with the vast expanse of existence. Some prefer to keep an open mind, embracing the mystery and uncertainty of the afterlife. It allows for the possibility that there is something beyond the limitations of human perception. Ultimately, the exploration of what happens after death is a journey that each individual must undertake on their own, guided by their beliefs, experiences, and perspectives. They acknowledge that there may be more to existence than what can be perceived or understood in the physical world. These perspectives offer a sense of comfort and continuity, suggesting that although the physical body may perish, there is an underlying unity that transcends death. Others see death as a transition to another form of existence or a return to the source of all creation. From religious narratives to scientific analysis and philosophical musings, we've explored a myriad of perspectives on this eternal query. When a person dies, their heart stops beating, their lungs cease to function, and their brain activity comes to a halt. Just drop them in the comments below. The body begins to decompose, and over time, the remains are returned to the elements. For them, death was seen as a permanent end. They focused primarily on living a good life according to the teachings of the Torah and the commandments given to Moses. Many scientists believe that death is indeed the end, a return to the state of non-existence that prevailed before a person was born. There is no empirical data or scientific theory that suggests otherwise. This process of rebirth is influenced by karma, which refers to the consequences of one's actions. Similar to Hinduism, Buddhists believe that after death, the soul, which is referred to as the Anatman, is reborn into a new body. However, the Buddhist view is slightly different. Buddhists believe that the process of rebirth is driven by craving and attachment, which cause a continuous cycle of suffering. When we talk about what happens after death, it's essential to consider the influence of spirituality and religion. Christianity. The Christian faith offers a somewhat traditional perspective on what happens after death. After a person dies, their soul is believed to enter a state called barzakh. Reaching nirvana means that one is no longer subject to the laws of karma and the cycle of rebirth ends. This is a period of waiting that lasts until Judgment Day. During barzakh, the soul remains conscious and is held accountable for its actions during its earthly life. It is a time of reflection and evaluation. Unlike heaven and hell, which are states of final judgment, purgatory is viewed as a temporary state. It is believed that those who have died in God's grace but are not entirely free from sin may go to purgatory. In this state, their souls undergo purification before they can enter heaven. However, some branches of Christianity, such as Catholicism and Mormonism, also believe in a third destination called purgatory. Islam. In Islam, the journey of the soul does not end with death, but rather continues through various stages. On Judgment Day, the soul is presented before Allah for final judgment. So in essence, the Islamic perspective holds that the ultimate destination of the soul depends on the balance of good and bad deeds accumulated during the person's lifetime. Hinduism. Hinduism presents a unique perspective on what happens after death. Good deeds or karma can lead to a favorable rebirth in a higher social class as a less suffering creature, or even in one of the higher divine worlds. Buddhism, which originated in India, also teaches the concept of reincarnation. The goal of Buddhism is to escape this cycle by achieving enlightenment and reaching nirvana, which is a state of perfect peace and liberation from suffering. Judaism. In Judaism, the beliefs about what happens after death are diverse, and there is no single, universally accepted perspective. Olam Haba is described as a place of peace and reward where the righteous will enjoy a life of happiness and fulfillment. Some branches of Judaism, such as Sadduceeism, which was prevalent among the Jewish leadership in the time of Jesus, generally did not believe in an afterlife. It's important to note that these are just some of the main beliefs in Judaism, and there is a spectrum of beliefs within the Jewish community. So those were some of the most common religious views on what happens after death. But it's not only religion that grapples with this question. 2. The scientific perspective. From a scientific standpoint, death is defined as the irreversible cessation of all biological functions that sustain a living organism. Science currently has no evidence to support the idea that consciousness or any form of life continues after death. 3. Philosophical and personal views. While science and religion offer contrasting perspectives, many people find solace in philosophical musings and personal convictions regarding what happens after death. There is the belief that everything is interconnected and that death is merely a change in form. Ultimately, what people choose to believe about what happens after death is a deeply personal decision. For many, the idea that death may not be an end, but a beginning or a transformation, brings a sense of hope and wonder. Poetic thought. To die is not to disappear, but to return to the stars, to the soil, to the cycle of life. As we come to the end of this thought-provoking journey, it's clear that the question of what happens after death has captivated humanity for centuries. What do you think happens after death? Do you have any stories or beliefs you would like to share? We'd love to hear your thoughts.